Hello friend, welcome to this video in which I will show you this package named Search Photos from Unsplash. This is a very useful package if you are looking to find photos for your different posts, for example, or for your Facebook post or your Twitter post, etc. And basically, we have different things here. You have to configure in first place the keys for this package. Let me search for this Unsplash service and also for an email generator to test this, to try this, and to show you how to use this package properly. I will show you in a second. Okay, this is the website of Unsplash. You can search for illustrators, you can search for different photographies. We are not interested on the website, we are interested on the API. Let me switch this to Spanish, to English, I say. Okay, here we have the English version. Okay. Once we are on the website, what we really want is to use the API. So you have to go to the menu. You have to click on Developers API, register as developer. You have to enter your information name, for example, Hector Perez. Email, I'm going to use this temporal email as the username. Let's use the same email for the username, the password. I'm going to use a password and click on join. Okay, after you do this, let me try to switch this to English again. I can't find where to change the... Well, what you have to do is go to your apps, or we have the English version. You have to go to your apps, but at the top you can see that it says something like you haven't confirmed your email. So you have to open your email, click on the URL that says that you have to confirm your account, and after that then you can return to the same website, your applications. Let's create a new application. You have to accept all of the terms. Accept the terms. Application name, for example, packages test in my case. Okay, let's change these packages. Package. Create application. And after you create your package, you have to go to keys, to key section. You have to copy the access key, and after we copy the access key, you have to return to packages. Let's go to keys, add a new key, select a custom service. As part of the connection type, you have to select build request. Let me return to the documentation to look at the specific Unsplash URL, API URL. For example, let's select get a photo, or maybe we have to go to the top of the documentation. Let's go to the top of the documentation to get the URL, the main URL. Let me search. Okay, we have here the schema, the location, and it says that this is the main URL of the service. So let's input this text as part of the domain, and as parameters we have to specify the type, query, the key. It says that we have used, let me search for public authentication. Okay, here it is. It says that we have used this URL, so we have to specify client ID as the key, and the value is going to be your access key, which in my case is this access key You see here, no, not the secret key, but the access key. And we have to enter the access key and the pretty name, for example, unsplash. Unsplash2. I'm going to set it to unsplash2 because I have an account created with unsplash pretty name. So let's save the key. I'm going to return to packages, and we're going to examine this package. We have different options to enter, like the query. This is the query that you're going to perform to search specific image. We have the page, which basically specify the page number to retrieve. It is like Google, for example, in which you make a request and you have a lot of pages to make a search. Well, that page is the page that is going to be retrieved. By default is the first page that you obtain from the service. Per page basically specify how many items per page you are going to retrieve. The default value is 10. You can specify another number if you want to. We have order by, and we have two possible values, relevant and latest. The default value is relevant. The collection is an optional parameter in which you can enter a collection IDs to narrow the search. We have a content filter, which has a low content filter by default, and limit results by content safety. We also have a color parameter in which you can specify one of the possible different values, which are the ones that you see on the hint, so that the images are related to the color that you specify. You can leave it as blank if you want. We have the orientation, which basically lets you to narrow the search to landscape, portrait, or squarish images or photos. And after that, I am using an JSON builder to basically retrieve all the different parameters as a JSON string. And this is useful because, as a difference for other services in which you enter a parameter that is an empty parameter, but you specify as part of the HTTP request, this service, if you specify that you want to use a parameter like, for example, the color parameter, but the user don't enter information for this parameter, it's going to throw an error, and you're going to receive basically an error code because this can't be done in this way in this specific package. So what I have to do is basically retrieve all the information, all the input parameters. I made a JSON builder, and then I created an internal package which basically forms a query parameter string URL for a specific URL. So it takes all the input parameters that we have here, and based on the information or the different values for each one of the different inputs nodes, it determines if it has to include or not that parameter as part of the URL, as part of the parameters of the URL. So after I do this, I can call an HTTP request node, which basically use the URL for the Unsplash API, and I enter as part of the parameters the result of the query parameters creator, which basically, as I said before, is all the parameters that have some sort of information in them. I haven't to add here a key because all the keys are added as part of the query parameters automatically. After that, I basically call an HTTP request. I output this result, and in the finished node, we can see that we output the result from the search request, and we generate a file name result.json because the response is going to be a JSON format. So after all that information, let's try the service. Let's try a query, for example, Spain. The first page, let's return the first page, the first turn results, order by relevant. Let's leave the other results as they are, and we are going to select the Unsplash key that we saw earlier, and let's run the package to see what we get. Okay, it's a very fast response, and you can see that you have all the turn items result that we saw earlier. This information is very useful because you obtain all sort of information from this. You get, for example, the different slugs for different languages. You can use it as part of your workflows or your different packages of your new packages. You can use the alternative slugs. We have information like the width, the height, the color, the blush hash, description, all description. You have a lot of information from this package. Even you have different versions of one image. If you want to use as thumbnail, if you want to use the full size for some purposes. I mean, you have a lot of information. You have even the HTML, the download URL, download location. You have a lot information from this service, which I think is very useful if you want to use all this information. So I hope that this package is very useful to you. I hope that you enjoy it, and if you want that I make a package from another API from on Splash, I can do that. Just leave a comment or contact me for that. I hope that you enjoy this package, and see you on the next video.